Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card is messages from your spirit guides. So I have 3 crystals for you guys to choose from. Pile number 1 is the clear quartz. Pile number 2 is the blue calcite. And pile number 3 is the rose quartz. So see which crystal you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Can you help me tap into my pile number 1s, please? Can you help me channel and tap in to my pile number 1s, please? Because it's like it's not coming through. It's like I can see something, but it's like... Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what messages and guidance your spirit guides have for you right now. So you guys chose the clear quartz. I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 1, please, spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 1s. What guidance and messages do my pile number 1 spirit guides have right now? We have the 8 of Cups reversed. What messages and guidance do my pile number 1 spirit guides have right now? Ace of Cups. I feel like there's a homecoming, like you guys are coming back to yourself. And it's really, really interesting because it's almost like I'm being shown someone and it's like I'm hearing learning lessons the hard way. So I see somebody and we have a lot of Aquarius and Capricorn in your chat. That just came through. I see somebody learning lessons the hard way or learning really hard lessons in the sense of, I feel like everything. I'm not really being taken to a specific area, but I feel like it's mostly wounding my heart chakra and my solar plexus. And I see somebody losing parts of themselves in the way of like alchemy. So it's like I'm purging and I'm learning this lesson. I'm purging this part of myself and I'm learning this lesson. To the point that like energetically then it's just the slip of my soul and nothing else. Like which feels then maybe like an ego death or something like that. Like I lost so much of myself, but I've gained a lot of wisdom. And then it's like I've hit the finish line, but this isn't the end because now I'm being reversed. I'm being turned around and now I'm walking back through everything that I've just been through, and through the rubble of everything kind of being destroyed, I'm picking up those parts of myself now that I see the value in them. So for example, you could have been somebody that was very happy and very optimistic and always had that outlook, and then maybe people didn't like that and tried to take that away from you and tried to put you down for that to the point that you didn't like that anymore and you let go of that part of yourself. But you with this fresh set of eyes, I'm being told you with an elevated mindset, you as an evolved person are now turning around and you're picking that back up through the rubble. So you're searching through the rubble and going, I definitely don't want that part of myself back because that really held me back. However, this part of myself was golden and I want that back. So I see you guys returning to areas of your life over the next couple of months, and I see you guys picking up parts of yourself that made you feel golden. So you may find over the next couple of months you may be feeling a little bit of nostalgia. It's coming through as a review because it's like, oh, I want this, oh, I want to keep that. You know, when you go through old drawers and old parts of your home and energy may have got stagnant there, and you go through the drawers and you basically get rid of a lot of things you genuinely don't need anymore because there's things you've outgrown of. But every so often you'll find that one thing and you're like, that's so cool, and I didn't think it was cool at the time, or maybe it wasn't of importance to me at the time and I just shoved it in that drawer, but now I found it and it's really cool. And you kind of, you know, maybe it's an ornament and you put it on display, or maybe it's you know, a hair piece and you stick it in or something like that, you know, and it makes you feel like you again. It's a part of yourself. So that's what I see you guys doing. I feel like you hit the finish line and now you're making your way back. Now you're making your way back through what you've tread through, if that's a word, and you are finding those pieces of yourself that I wouldn't say were lost. I feel like you had to shed so much of yourself that the good and the bad got shed at the same time, because it's like a double-edged sword, and now you're kind of going back like, oh, this is me, this is me, this is me, this is me, but also with that wisdom, because you found new versions of yourself, and even parts of yourself that you didn't like, you're able to use that as a lesson, alchemy, transform it into something that now you do like. I didn't like that I did this, but I can transform it because now I can do it like this. Do you get what I mean? Like, for example, I used to wear makeup a lot. I did beauty therapy in school. I loved makeup. However, I did use makeup to hide a lot of my insecurities, to the point that I would fill my face with makeup so that I could hide behind it. And when I went through an ego death and I did a lot of purging, I hated makeup so much. And I love makeup again now, but I don't hide behind it. And now I know how to use it to like express myself and for it to suit my face. But I don't hide behind it, and I don't put a lot on because it doesn't suit me. Do you get what I mean? So I had to really change the way that I looked at it, but the love was still there. So I see you guys doing that and revisiting points of your life. You may even be revisiting old friends. So you may find that old friends may pop up, whether it's just subconsciously, like in your energy field, or whether they'll reach out. They could pop up in dreams as well. And it's to have you kind of look at them with this new fresh set of eyes, and look at maybe where things went wrong, how you acted maybe out of your shadow, how you acted out of your light, and who you really want to bring back in. You know what I mean? Who you want to align with again, or whether you want to just keep everyone kind of like gone, but be like, you know what, that type of friendship, I don't think I want to go back to that person, but I would like somebody like that again, that had these qualities because they brought this out of me. Whereas this friend, I don't want somebody like this friend because I don't like what it brought out of me, and I didn't like and appreciate the way that they acted with me, if that makes sense. I also see you doing it with ex-partners and things like that as well. I see you guys really, it's almost like you've grown up and you're looking at things through a very grown up, elevated point of view, because I see exes and, you know, people from the past, situations from the past, and you're like, okay, I don't particularly like this person, or I've outgrown this person, I don't want this person back, but I really admired this quality and this quality in this person, and I found that I was my best self, or I felt safe when I was around this person, or I felt like I could really express myself around this person, so I like this trait and I like this trait. So it's almost like you're building yourself back up with all of this newness and this wisdom that you've gained, but also with the remnants of your memory and people from your past, and maybe it's like taking the parts that you like to create your own new recipe, which is really, really beautiful. So I see that happening. Pile number 1, we have the 3 of Wands. Pile number 1, messages from pile number 1's spirit guides, guidance from pile number 1's spirit guides. We have the 5 of Wands. While you're doing this, I have to say, the back of the deck is a Knight of Swords. You are going to go through moments of feeling super empowered, and then through moments of super disempowered. You're going to be finding that creative expression. You're going to be finding those parts of yourself that make you feel lit up and happy. But you are also going to have to come to terms with bits and debris around you where you felt disempowered. Now, the reason that this disempowerment feeling may come up at times is to really hold up a mirror to you, to show you those parts of your subconscious where you gave your power away, or you didn't feel like you were enough. And it almost feels like the trenches of your subconscious. Because when I see these feelings of disempowerment come up, it's what I always say, it's a purge. You're feeling it to release it. But I don't see you really sitting there crying, purging, emotional. It feels like a discomfort. Because I see you looking at things in an elevated mindset of what this is. And I see you guys looking at maybe connections with parents, connections with, you know, situations that happened in childhood that led to feelings of disempowerment, or not feeling worthy, or not feeling confident in yourself. And I see you really looking at it in the eye, very black and white, and kind of acknowledging certain feelings. And I see discomfort, I see uncomfortability, I do see that. But as quick as it releases and purges, I see you guys it's like something's being handed to me, like I'm finding gold. So it's like alchemy. It's like I'm purging it and then alchemizing it into something else. So where I may have felt, I don't know why I'm being taken to the sacral chakra and me feeling shame in regards to, you know, the physical body and the more intimate side. I see you guys create an alchemy and then really empowering yourself in that energy. But to really sit in it, I see a level of discomfort as you kind of like dwindle through that, if that makes sense. Or I see you guys looking at times where you gave your power away and you didn't know, you know, any better at the time. I see you guys really sitting in it, acknowledging the discomfort, acknowledging that, oh, I did this and I did this, or this happened to me, and it's like I'm acknowledging the discomfort and then I'm purging it, and it's like, and now I've gained all of this wisdom and now I feel better. And then it's almost like you're finding parts of yourself in that, because it's like, remember that era of my life when I see you looking at yourself like an inner child and an inner teenager and all of that, and I see you guys just being like, that was a great part of you, you need to keep that, that was a really quirky side of you, I want this back, I don't know why I let go of this. And I see you guys doing that, so it's almost like you're making your way back through, which is really, really beautiful. It's empowering, but to feel empowered, I feel like you're going to feel moments of disempowerment first. It's that yin yang, you know, it's like that double-edged sword. You have to feel it to really become that new vibration. You have to let it out. But this is things that were deep in your subconscious wounds. Like, this feels like the trenches of your subconscious, and what it was hidden under was maybe layers of maybe triggers, because I'm seeing wires, and I see you guys really letting go. Because when you are on your way to the finish line, I see everything being taken seriously. I feel like you're experiencing these feelings for the first time. You're not able to fully review them to a degree. You're taking everything serious. It's like you're walking up the hill and you're marching up the hill and you've got that one thing on your mind. You need to get to the finish line by any means necessary. So it's like all these things are happening and I'm just taking them in stride, and I'm letting go of this and I'm letting go of that. And this person triggered this, so I'm letting go of it. Whereas now you're walking back with grace. You're walking back with a feeling of empowerment. You're walking back with an understanding of self, and you're able to look at it from an elevated point of view. So this walking back, it feels lighter and it feels almost exciting. It feels like a really beautiful journey. It feels like a homecoming after homecoming after homecoming. And I'm literally being shown somebody with a really tight corset on, and the lace or the strings that keep it together at the back, they're being undone. And all of a sudden I can breathe again, and I can breathe again. But it was like when I made my way up that hill and through that journey, I had the corset on tight, so I almost felt restricted from again, subconscious wounds, parts of where I told myself I wasn't worthy, parts of where I told myself that I wasn't deserving. And that then reflected in the type of people I met in my journey and the type of situations I allowed to happen in my journey, and parts of myself that I just gave away or took away or allowed to fall away because I was told that they weren't worthy and I believed it. But now that corset, it's like it's undone and I can breathe again. And now I'm kind of flouncing through and I'm able to pick up parts that, you know, nothing seems uptight anymore. There's not a black cloud over my head, and now I can really see clearer. Now I can pick up those parts of myself, because it's like I found this level of self-love and now I'm pouring my worth back into me. So maybe you've been on a self-love journey and untangling parts of yourself that maybe where you overgave or self-sacrificed and things like that, whereas now it's like an elevated part of that self-love journey, because now it's like, now I'm finding my confidence and my worthiness from within. And I wouldn't have been able to do that had I not loved myself first. So I almost feel like you've achieved that self-love energy. You've achieved that. It almost feels like you're being the parent to yourself. And now it's like, now we're activating that light. And now we're rediscovering those parts of ourselves that we shunned. And it's really, really beautiful. And I see the next, even though I see discomfort, and I do see a little bit of a roller coaster like this over the next couple of months. It does feel like the next 2 to 3 months. I feel like every time you hit the top of that mountain, I see you collecting a star. And I see you guys feeling really good. And, you know, the star indicates, you know, rebirth. Again, there's more alchemy there, and there's an elevated mindset there. And I see life getting more fun and free. You know when you take something tight off and you feel like your body's loose, you feel like your body's jelly? It feels like that. And I'm being shown, if you've ever watched The Office, if you haven't, I'm going to explain. There's this scene in The Office where Michael Scott, the manager, he's played by Steve Carell. He has this room downstairs in underneath the office that he works in, and he turns it into a cafe disco. So he gets like an espresso machine. It's a really rundown room. He gets a little espresso machine and he gets this little disco ball. And there's this really funny scene where he's talking, and it cuts to different clips where he's dancing, doing like these really funny dances. It's really silly. And he's like, when I'm breaking all the rules, I'm breakdancing. And he wants everybody to come to the cafe disco, but everyone's being uptight. They're working upstairs. They don't want to. And he gets his speakers and he holds it up to the vent and he sings like, everybody dance now, and he like sings that, and like, well, he doesn't sing it, he plays the song, and then everybody in the office is just, they can hear that music kind of coming up, and in the end everyone joins him downstairs. And I'm gonna attach that scene because I almost feel like that's the energy you're moving into, and I feel like I'm not giving it grace, though how funny that scene was to me. So I'm just gonna attach that in a link in the description box for you guys to play after this, because I see light, I see fun. It's like you've got that, it's like you've got a zest for life back, you've got that optimism back, because you're finding those parts of you that made you you. So you may be feeling right now a little bit like you've lost your light. You haven't at all. I see you guys really coming back to yourself. So don't think you're going backwards if you're having thoughts of people from the past. It's more a review to see, I like this, but I don't like this. You know, it's like, you know, when, imagine you were like the fashion designer of a company and they give you like the first initial draft, and it's like, I like the color but I don't like the lace, or I like the denim but I don't like the pink, it clashes with it, and you make notes. It's almost like your soul having gone through that. It's like, I have notes now, and I see you guys making your way back, and it's like, okay, that connection, I don't want that person back, but there were qualities that I would like from this person, and it's like you're understanding what you like and who you are through that, which is really beautiful. So pile number one, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number one, Spirit Guides. What guidance does pile number one's Spirit Guides have? We have the Seashell. We have two cards that have come out here. We have the Seashell. Let down your guard. What are you protecting yourself from? Yeah, and that protection, that's what I was being shown, that corset being tied. I feel like you took on a lot of projections from other people. Don't talk like this. Don't act like this. Don't wear this. Don't be open like this. Don't act like that. And it was just like you took it on, you know. You may in the past as well people please, but I think it was to protect yourself. Maybe you learned in childhood that you had to maybe walk on eggshells, or you had to be in somebody's favor to deserve love. And we deserve love regardless. And I feel like you've maybe moved through life for a little while, given to other people or becoming what other people needed you to be, forgetting your own needs. And I think that may be why you went on a self-love journey. But you're so, the self-love journey is so deep now. Because the self-love journey in itself alchemizes into something even greater. And I feel like that's where you're at, which is really, really beautiful. You've come a really, really long way, to the point that you're ready to just kind of pop out the shell now, which is really beautiful. Really beautiful. We then have the Sea Urchin. Maneuver with tenacity. Be methodical. Yeah, I see you looking at, I just see somebody like looking up at the chaos, but it's like after the storm. Up on the mountain, and it's like, okay, I went that route before, this time I'll go that route. And I'll take this with me this time on that way back, and I'll take this with me, and when this happens to me, I'll act in this way instead of that way next time. It's almost like you've turned yourself inside out, and now you're walking inside out back through with more wisdom. It's really cool. Pile number one. We have the Mermaid. Embrace change, transformation, adaptability. Yeah, of course. You're going to be feeling a level of discomfort as well, because the tides are turning. The tide went all the way out and now it's on its way in. We then have the seahorse. Follow your intuition. You're on the right path. Don't feel derailed when things are feeling nostalgic and things are coming up from the past. You haven't gone backwards at all. You are reviewing. You're making your way back. You're finding those parts of yourself. It's like you're immersing yourself in those waves, you know, which is really, really beautiful. I do feel discomfort, but when you feel these feelings of discomfort, remember the phoenix. It has to burst into flames so it can be born anew. Remember that. It's never going to be comfortable. I don't see it too intense. You may go through moments of intense emotions, but it's almost like a feeling that comes up and then it goes. When you do, just take care of yourself. And I mean that in self-care. Really honor those feelings coming out. Your inner child, your inner teenager, your shadow self, they're showing you these emotions for a reason. They feel safe to show you these emotions. They feel safe to have these things unraveled now. They're showing you these deepest parts of themselves, which is deepest parts of yourself. So give yourself grace when you're feeling these feelings. And as quick as it purges out is as quick as you get that star in your hand, which is aligning with something that you forgot about, you know what I mean, that made you feel $1 million, which made you feel really good. The back of the deck, you have palm tree. Newfound power and prosperity awaits. Newfound power and prosperity awaits. I feel like that doesn't even need an explanation. You're coming into your power, evolved as well. Nothing holding you back because that corset's been undone. Now, the next deck I'm going to use, one of my beautiful subscribers sent this deck to me. She created it with her sister. I'm going to link it for you guys if you want to check it out, because I opened it and I was like, oh my God. Because they sent me the deck and I was looking at it in the emails and the imagery. Obviously, I love animals, and I was looking at the imagery and I was like, this is so beautiful and cute. And then when I opened the deck at home and I just saw the back, I was like, oh my God, this is so pretty. And it comes as well, guys, with a really detailed book. So I just really wanted to show you guys this on my channel so you guys can check this deck out. So I'm going to have the link in the description box for you guys. Pile number one, please, spirit guides. Pile number one, messages from pile number one's spirit guide. Message from pile number one's spirit guides. You have a squirrel. Oh, I can't pick it up. I got my nails done because I'm going away, and I haven't had my nails done in a while and I'm struggling. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm really struggling. So we have the squirrel. Now, the squirrel card here, guys, if you see, she's creating her nest, and I was just reading a little bit of the book, and the book was talking about how the squirrel creates this really, really cozy home for it to stay in, a very, very warm place for it to stay in and feel safe. And I feel like that's very much what you guys are doing. I feel like in the past, I feel like you guys had a makeup of energies which were attached to a desire to feel safe and a desire to feel seen and a desire to feel loved. And I feel like through that, it was like, how can I feel that way? And maybe in your immediate environment, or maybe through school or college, you guys may have picked up parts of yourself where it's like, okay, I need to get rid of this part of myself because this is making me stand out and this is making me maybe a threat, and I need to adopt this. And I need to get rid of this, and I need to adopt this. And the people around me don't like when I do this, so I'm not going to do this even though I like to. I'm going to do this instead. Like, I see you guys, it's almost like turning yourself inside out naturally to accommodate people around you, to a point that maybe you never really felt safe showing up as your true, authentic self. Whereas with this card, with the squirrel card, and it creating that nest to make itself feel at home and make itself feel cozy, it's like, I'm hearing cozy by Beyonce. And she's like, comfortable in my skin, cozy with who I am. I love myself, goddamn, I'm cozy. I think that's the lyrics. And that's what I'm really picking up. I see you guys kind of walking back. I feel like, again, it's like that Michael Scott kind of dancing scene, and you're just kind of like floating back and walking back and picking up parts of yourself. And it's just, I see you by the end of the line, you have like jewels on and different colors, and you're like, this is me, this is me. And I see you guys feeling very comfortable in who you are and really at home in your own body and your own energy and your own likes and dislikes and how you present yourself. And I see that, yeah, that's really beautiful. But I do feel like there are going to be moments where you have to acknowledge parts of yourself that felt weak or felt like you had to hide yourselves or part of yourself where you didn't feel worthy. I do see you guys acknowledging that. So pile number 1, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pal 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what messages your spirit guides have for you right now. So you guys chose the blue calcite. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 2, please, spirit guides, tap me into the collective. Okay. I'm being shown a cross, and then it's like on each grid in between I'm being shown the elements. So it's like I'm being shown like a soul, like the physical body, like the human body, and then it's like it's being split with like a line down the middle and then a line across, and then it's like there's elements, and I almost feel like I'm activating those elements. I'm understanding those elements within myself. It's quite interesting. Let me get the cards down. I don't know what that's about. Pile number 2. Messages from pile number 2, spirit guides, please. Messages from pile number 2's spirit guides. 9 of Pentacles. 5 of Swords. I'm hearing Pocahontas when she says, come roll in all the riches all around you, and for once never wonder what they're worth. So 9 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords, pile number 2, messages from pile number 2, spirit guides. Judgment, and the 7 of Wands. Yeah, I'm hearing listen with your heart, you will understand. What's that about? Okay, 7 of Wands, 10 of Swords at the back of the deck. You are being plugged back in. And, okay, this is interesting. Through a lot of your life on Earth this far, I don't know whether you have a lot of air energy in your chart. You don't have to at all. However, I'm being shown somebody with their legs tucked up, so that and I'm being shown that it's like their soul. So like physically their body's here, but with their soul, let's just say the soul's in the body for this thing that I'm being shown, right? Their legs are tucked up. They're not firmly planted into the ground. And I've got my arms then not fully in my physical human body arms. It's like I'm tucking my arms around my legs. And when I'm looking at everything around me, I'm lifting, I'm almost elevating. So when I'm viewing life, I'm viewing it as a soul and not a human. I hope this makes sense. So I'm viewing life. I don't know if you've ever lucid dreamed, or if you've ever connected or had visions or had dreams where you've been in other realms. It's almost like you're an observer and a watcher. You don't have the legs to run around. You just feel like an energy floating. It's conscious. It's just floating. And I see you guys almost doing that throughout life naturally. It's like, and the reason I'm doing it, I feel like it's not safe here. It's not safe here. It's not, and it's your soul going, I don't like the way that they're teaching people to be in their bodies. I don't like that. This is not what I was taught. I think I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold out. It's really interesting that what I'm being taken to. And I see you guys almost energetically float, and it's like, I'm going to wait. I don't want to be in my physical body yet. This isn't it. Like, I don't like it. And then I see you guys maybe sometimes being in a passive energy where you're almost observant and you have ideas and you have thoughts, but you're not physically putting them out there because you don't feel too connected to your physical body. And I feel like what's been happening, it's been happening for a couple of years, I'm being told, but I feel like you're starting to really feel the effects of it. Your soul has gone, right, I've got enough wisdom and enough knowledge to come into my physical body, to align with my physical body, to ground into my physical body and feel a home here. I'm going to do it. And then I see your legs kind of going into your legs and your hands going into your arms. It's like, well, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. And it's like, oh, okay. Okay. And then I see stored memories that your body has. And it's almost like your body's handing them to your soul and going, we need to process this. And we need to process it now so that it doesn't manifest as something later on down the line. And we need to process this. And I see you guys holding space for emotions to come up and purge and release. But then I also see you guys, it's interesting. I'm being shown Peter Pan with his shadow, and he tries to tie his shadow to himself because the shadow keeps running away. It's almost like your physical body's tying the soul to the feet, so that it can stay and stick and really show up. And I see a little bit of uncomfortability at first, because it's almost like I see you guys feeling a little bit like, even though you've been on earth for however long you've been watching this, I see you guys feeling like everything's new, and you guys are just walking around feeling a bit alien for the first time. But it's more like alien physically, like being in this more grounded energy. And the way I'm being shown it is like from Enchanted. I can't remember her name, the girl with the ginger hair, I can't remember her name, and she's from the princess world, the cartoon world, but she falls down the well and she ends up in New York in present day, and she's like, you know, singing to birds, lets all the birds in and makes a dress out of curtains, and she just is just, you know, it's all kind of brand new to her. You know, she's walking with the dress down the New York street and she's like, oh my god, like there's a feeling of that. And I feel like you're going to feel a little bit ambushed for a second. You may even find that you have a little bit of anxiety or feelings like that coming up. But it's happening for you guys to fully align into your physical body, to not only bring material abundance in and to feel home on earth, but also to... I see you guys connecting to earth on a much deeper level. Do you hear the birds then? Like, yes. I see you guys connecting to the... connecting to the birds. You may be connecting to the birds. I see you guys connecting to the earth on a much deeper level then, because it's like I'm bringing... It's so interesting what I'm getting. It's like your soul's going, I'm bringing through wisdom from my past incarnations, wisdom where I was super connected to Mother Gaia, wisdom where I was connected to the 4 elements, wisdom where I was moving in this way and I was understanding energy in this way and I didn't have these projections. I'm bringing that through and I'm aligning it with what my soul's already learned thus far, and I'm blending them together to create this kind of recipe. So it's almost like your body and your soul, it's almost like they're getting to know each other in a way. They've been communicating energetically, but it's like they're forming into each other, because I almost feel like you always felt a little bit like you were drifting, or you were just watching and observing, but you weren't really being part of, I'm hearing Little Mermaid, part of your world. Like you were never really part of like the physical kind of like world. And now it's like you're finding your place here, because your soul's like, this is the way I do it, this is my own instructions, and now I feel safe to bring those instructions through. My soul understands that I have my own wiring, so I can bring it through. Whereas before I didn't want to come through because I was trying to fit a mold of everything else and I didn't want that to distort. Whereas now I can come through with this manual of what my soul knows and bring that through and mix the wisdom that I've already gained from being on earth in this incarnation and the wisdom from my past lives and what my soul already remembers. So it's quite interesting. It's like I feel like it's been a process of you guys really coming into your physical body, which is really, really interesting. 10 of Swords. So right now, you guys may be purging old filters. You may have looked at nature in a particular way, but there's more depth to be had there. And I say nature because it's the elements I see you guys connecting to first. So I think that you guys on a soul level work with the earth and the elements really well. I feel like you understand the spirit of elements and the spirit of this physical realm, if that makes sense. Like Mother Gaia, I feel like you guys on a soul level understand the depth of Mother Gaia and her spirit and her energy and working with her. And then the spirit of fire, the spirit of water. I see you guys speak into water, like a bowl of water, and I'm speaking to water. There's a flame in front of me and I'm speaking to the flame. I'm working with the flame. There's plants around me and I'm speaking to the plants. I'm working with the plants. it's like the air is being blown above me and I'm speaking to the air and I can see auras in the air. But to do that and to have that really activate, because that's what my soul's bringing through, because it's my own wisdom, I have to let go of outdated beliefs. So something's falling away. So you may be feeling right now, or you may find it happens over the coming weeks, where you feel disconnected in the sense that you may feel very robotic. You may feel like everything's very alien or robotic or not real. You may be feeling like you're walking around in an artificial world. You may be feeling like everything's fake. You know, you may be feeling like you're not feeling the strong connection to crystals or the earth or an element that you've always worked with very deeply. You may be feeling a disconnect to it. It's not going forever. It's being alchemized with this Ten of Swords for you guys to see something from a higher perspective with this Judgment card. So you're having to walk away from programmings that were already deep within you. And I see when this feeling emerges, where you are feeling that stronger connect, I see you guys putting technology down. Now, I'm not saying that you're getting rid of this, I'm not saying you're getting rid of technology forever, but I see you guys wanting to be in the physical a lot more, feeling, you know, really connecting to your senses very deeply, really understanding the sacredness of everything around you and really seeing everything very deep. So I see you guys not wanting any distractions there. But for a little while, I just see you guys feeling a little bit like everything's a computer game before something activates, and that's because there's a reboot then happening, okay? So don't be alarmed by these feelings that come up. This is all happening for you guys to reach your Nine of Pentacles, for you guys to create physical abundance on earth, for you guys to really show up as your true self on earth, to really honor the earth and feel at home here. That's why it's happening. So don't resist these feelings that are coming up, because we have the Seven of Wands here, and I feel like you may be feeling like, oh, everything's just turned upside down again, everything's just turned upside down, or this is happening now and this is happening now, and I don't feel connected to anything, and was it all real, and all of that. It's weird because it feels like an ego death, but it also doesn't feel like an ego death. I think it's just a very big programming that you're just flipping. It could be an ego death if you want to align it that way, but it doesn't. I don't feel energetically drawn to say it. It's a shift. It's a big chunk of how you are going to align with being a human. It's a big chunk of that being taken away to be rebirthed. So naturally you're just going to feel like, oh, I just feel like Scissor song, Ghost in the Machine. I just feel like a ghost in the machine. I just feel like I'm existing. Is there a point? Is there a purpose? And then all of a sudden you like plug back in and it's like rebooting, and it's like, wow, I see the depth of everything. I see the soul and everything. I see the spirit and everything. I see the energy and everything. I see the depth and everything. And that's really, really, really beautiful. And everything then feels very expansive. It's like when you think of Avatar and they connect to nature so deeply. And they, you know, you have Ewa and you have like the Tree of Souls where you connect to the ancestors. I see you guys putting your feet like really deep into the ground. And it's like I'm taking on the consciousness of the ground. I'm understanding the spirit of the ground. I'm speaking to the spirit of the ground. And the reason I went a bit then was because I almost felt like my energy shifted. I almost felt like I was flipping something. It was almost like a part of my soul just popped into my body. Like I had that weird feeling. So you maybe feel it, like you maybe just be sitting there and then just feel like time has stopped, or what was 5 minutes ago was like days ago. Like there's this even a really funny feeling with like time, because you're understanding energy better. And I see you guys with these downloads that are coming through, I see like you almost may really feel that influx of energy, you know. So that's something that's coming through. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Messages from pile number 2, spirit guides. You have sailboat. Do not fight the wind. Learn to sail with grace. Allow this to flow. If you're feeling like everything's a little bit like a computer game, or you're feeling like everything's a little bit you feel a little bit disconnected to everything, allow it. Just chill out. You know what I mean? All I want to do is just watch TV because I don't feel connected to anything. Just watch TV. That's what I'm being told, for you guys to just... I would also say for you guys to just listen and observe these feelings that are coming out. But I feel like a confusion because I almost don't feel like what it is that's purging out. I don't feel like it was causing you harm. I just think it was just a layer that you learned. So while it's purging out, you may feel a grievance, or you may feel a release, but you don't understand because there's not this deep emotion connected to it. So you may be feeling really disconnected and just feeling like, why am I feeling this way? I don't get it. It's because there's a purge, but there isn't a deep emotion connected to what's purging out. You're welcome in that purge. There's no real trigger there. That's why there's almost an uncomfortable feeling, because it's like, I'm used to maybe purging through emotion. I'm used to really purging through, this was holding me back and now I'm acknowledging it and I'm purging it out. Whereas this feels different. This is just, it's just coming out of me, and I just feel a bit of discomfort because it's like, what? Because I feel like the way you purge is through emotions, but this doesn't feel like an emotional purge. It's just wirings coming undone, and you're like, what's going on? What's going on? And then I just feel a bit alien and disconnected because it's like, what? That's what I'm picking up. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number 2, Spirit Guides. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number 2, Spirit Guides. We have tsunami. Now is the time to confront your stresses. What are you avoiding? I would say as well for you guys to really sit in silence, because I feel like with this tsunami card, parts of yourself where you energetically weren't feeling like you wanted to fully show up in the physical and be in your physical body, you're going to be coming into alignment and really facing them, because your soul's coming through to facing them. So, you know, moments where you didn't want to process that feeling because that was just uncomfortable, or you didn't want to just sit in the present moment in silence because of thoughts that may come up and feelings that may come up, or you didn't want to acknowledge, give me an example, Spirit Guides. It's like in the absence of everything you were distracting yourself with is what you're really, it's like you're looking at it stone cold in the face. So like you may have sometimes dealt with feelings of just feeling a bit unhappy, just feeling a little bit dissatisfied with what's in your life, and maybe you've looked for that satisfaction through playing video games or vices, and it's almost like your soul's coming through and it's looking at where you felt dissatisfied and showing it to you, like, you felt dissatisfied here, by the way, but instead of going into another realm and instead of daydreaming or, you know, attaching yourself to a vice, it's like, let's sit with that feeling. Let's feel that feeling. Where's it coming from? Let's follow it. And then let's plant it into its root so that we don't feel that feeling again and something else can grow there. So then there's a little bit of a feeling of discomfort then, if that makes sense. So definitely sit with your feelings, or take about 30 minutes to an hour out of your day to really just sit with how you feel and ask yourself how you feel. And especially when you're feeling like you need something to relieve boredom, or you need something to relieve a dissatisfaction, really listen to that and see where it's coming from. Because I feel like your soul's going to be doing that with you. And maybe that's another feeling of a little bit of disconnection. Because it's like you're tapping into parts of yourself where you felt disconnected and where you felt there wasn't where you felt dissatisfied, and then you're like wiring it back in. So that's really, really interesting. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number 2, Spirit Guides. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. The starfish. Trust your instincts. Yeah, it's like you're tapping back into your physical body, but the way that your soul naturally taps into the physical body is to a very high degree. You really feel the senses. You really understand the spirit of nature around you. You understand your impulses. You understand that, and you listen to it intuitively. And when you look at all the little tentacles here in the starfish, it's like you're coming into your body and it's like it's on 10, like the scale is like on 10. It's like you're really activating so many parts of yourself. That's why I was being shown the elements and understanding them, and understanding how Mother Gaia plays a role in your energy, and understanding the frequencies of Mother Gaia so that you know when energies are shifting on Earth, and you can harvest that and understand that and align with that and harness it to your benefit. It's really interesting. It's like your animal instincts are being activated. Pile number 2, Spirit Guides, please. Sunken ship. I love how it's come up in reverse as well. Your past does not have to define your future. Interesting. Don't feel guilt for how you how do I explain it? I see somebody feeling nervous or scared or feeling like they don't feel comfortable coming out of their shell. And then I see somebody looking back to it and being like, oh my God, remember that time when I was just acting like this? I acted like that, or I just wasn't sticking up for myself here. I wasn't doing that. Don't feel guilt for that. Don't feel ashamed for that. You were doing what you felt was keeping you safe at the time. You know? You were working with what you knew at the time. What your inner child knew at the time, what your shadow self knew at the time. You have such beautiful aspects to you that I see that you're growing into. And I see you guys being like, why wasn't I like this all the time? Why wasn't I showing up like this all the time? And then almost feeling embarrassed or discomfort with how you may have acted in the past or how you may have acted against your true nature. But you had to learn somehow. And you were going off of what you may have been taught through childhood or what you just thought would keep you safe at the time. Do not hate any versions of yourself. Even, you know, if it's vices that you guys would have connected to in the past. And it's like, why was I doing that? Why was I attaching to this vice? And why was I doing that? And don't look at it in an angry way. That was your way of coping at the time. You didn't know any different. And now you're coming through to really realign and root yourself back in. Your past is part of your story that brought you to where you are. So when these little bits of discomfort come up and you're like, why was I daydreaming all the time? Why wasn't I showing up for myself? Why didn't I start saving money then? Or why didn't I start driving then? Or why didn't I start doing this then? And why couldn't I put in boundaries back then? It was part of your journey. And you learned through that journey and now you're here. You wouldn't be here otherwise. Your soul wouldn't feel comfortable to really come through if you hadn't been doing that work, and you wouldn't have started doing that work if those parts of yourself didn't get triggered. So don't feel annoyed or angry or frustrated at your past self, because you were just doing what was keeping you safe. But now you've got a new safety net that you're aligning with and tapping into. And you've evolved so well. And you are evolving so well. The back of the deck, you have calm before the storm. Something big is coming. You're approaching the climax. Yeah. So right now you may be feeling like you're flatlined. Everything's still. Everything's stagnant. I feel like a robot. I just feel like I'm marching around in a system. I feel stuck. I feel like I'm not connected to anything. Crystals mean nothing to me. Plants mean nothing to me. I don't feel connected to my physical body. I don't feel connected to anything. There's a reboot happening. And while this reboot is happening, sit in these feelings of discomfort. Sit in these feelings of boredom, dissatisfaction. And really listen to where those feelings are coming from. And don't feel annoyed at yourself for doing things differently in the past. That was part of your story. So as your final card, I'm going to use this deck. One of my lovely subscribers sent me this deck. It's really beautiful. As you can see on the front cards, look how beautiful that is. And they basically created this really beautiful animal deck, and they have really beautiful pictures of animals on it. And they sent it to me, and I was like, right, I need to put this on my channel because I love it. So I'm going to attach the link to this deck so you guys can purchase. And yeah, I'm going to use this deck next. It also comes with a booklet, by the way, like a really thick booklet with all the messages in here. So I just really wanted to show you guys because it's really beautiful. You can get it on Etsy, and I'll have the link in the description box for you guys. So let's pull a card. Pile number 2. Messages from pile number 2's spirit guides, please. Messages from pile number 2's spirit guides, please. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Messages from pile number 2's spirit guides for my pile number 2's. Messages from pile number 2's spirit guides. Oh, you have 2. So you guys have, I think that's the crow, number 12. And then we have the spider. Okay. Crow card, guys, and especially with the diamonds surrounding the crow here, I feel like you have such wisdom, like your soul, your spirit, you have so much wisdom, you have so much intelligence that your soul is here to really bring through into the physical. When we think of the crow, it's a very mystical creature. They're connected to divination. They're connected to the spirit realm. Birds in general are, but crows are very, very powerful. And with the crow being surrounded by diamonds, I mean, pressure makes diamonds. And diamonds are multifaceted. And I feel like you've been... How do I explain? It's so interesting when I'm looking at how you've moved through life, because it's almost like your soul's here, your physical body's here. Your soul has all of the wisdom, and then your physical self, your physical body, it's been learning so much just in this incarnation, maybe clearing karma, working through karma. You already have such a multi-layered perspective on Earth in general, but then you also have a very multi-layered connection to Earth and the physical realm to a very high degree, and both of them contrast each other, which is quite interesting. And it's like you're blending them together, keeping John Peter Pan sewing up the shadow to his foot. It's like you're merging them together to become more multifaceted, to become more to have more depth and to have more sides of you, and to see things a lot deeper, but also live on the surface level at the same time. I hope that makes sense. It's like, it's an uncomfortable feeling, and it's hard for me to kind of grasp my head around it, because I feel like it's going to be different for all of you. But I just feel like two worlds are merging. What you've known and what you've developed so far as a human being on Earth, and the wisdom you're bringing through from your past lives, it's merging, it's mixing. And that first initial mix, it might not make sense, but it's aligning and it's rooting. And I feel like that's where the wisdom then is coming through. And I feel like right now with the Spider card, right now you're being called not to make too many brash decisions or too many big decisions. I feel like right now you're really being called to listen to your physical body. And if you're feeling a little bit dissatisfied right now, listen to that. And if you're feeling a little bit shut down right now, allow yourself to be shut down. Allow yourself to just observe what's around you. Because there's a really intricate development of two energies coming together. Or shall I say the four elements merging together. The four elements are so different. They're four different layers. But when it comes together, it creates this multifaceted creation that allows us to live on Earth. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening for you guys. I would also say for you guys to maybe sit with the four elements if you can. Sit and listen to the wind. Sit and, you know, whether it's a bowl of water, being in the shower, a lake, the ocean. Sit with the ocean and see what messages she has for you. Sit with plants. Put your feet in the earth. Sit with a tree and see what messages it has for you. And really sit with the simplistic side of things. Because I feel like there's wisdom that's going to come through. Sit with, you know, fire. Sit with, a candle in the flame and see what messages it has. And see what it ignites within you. Because it's almost like you're being called to... It's weird. It's like the soul's coming into the physical body, and all of a sudden I'm a baby again. And I'm crawling, and I don't know how to walk, and I'm having to learn it all again. It's like you're having to relearn everything again. With depth. It's really, really interesting. But this isn't anything you're learning from books. This isn't anything you're learning from movies. This isn't anything you're learning from anybody else. And I think that's why Spirit's coming me with what necessarily you're activating too much, because it's something that's coming through. Sorry guys, my phone cut off then, but I feel like that's where I leave you guys. I hope this made sense for you. I did feel like I was being breadcrumbed a little bit in the reading, but whenever that happens, it's because something's emerging within the viewer. Something's emerging within you guys that I'm not meant to tell you. So I hope I've been able to give you a map to a degree of what may be going on. I feel like the energy then is for you to explore. So pile number 2, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey part 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what messages and guidance your spirit guides have for you right now. So you guys chose the rose quartz. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So I want to say energetically I'm being brought into a bubble. It's like a bubble's waving in front of me, and then I'm being immersed in the bubble, and that's how I'm being brought into your energy. So I don't know if you do very strong protection on yourself, or whether it's just your spirit guides, your ancestors really, you know, protecting you, because it's almost like I'm being brought into the bubble. It's like I have to wait for permission, and then I'm being brought in, and it's only a certain energy that is being brought into this bubble. Because you know when you see bubbles in the air, and then one bubble attaches to the other one, but it doesn't pop, it just becomes two bubbles attached to each other. But like if you stick your finger through the bubble, it's gonna pop, because it's like it's a different energy, it's a different substance, let's say. There's a feeling of that, and I feel like, how do I put this in the words? I feel like your higher self in general, and I feel like you in this everyday life, are very protective of your peace and who you bring into your bubble, who you bring into your circle. And there's a strong message coming through. Do not feel ashamed of that. Do not feel like there's something wrong because of that. Do not feel like you're inadequate because of that. Do not feel like you because I'm hearing somebody say, I'm really awkward, I'm just a bit socially awkward, or I'm just shy. And I feel like your higher self is like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And then your higher self is like, you move like a cat. Like, it's quite interesting. It's like, you move like a cat. You just, you know, there's the golden retrievers and the dogs, and they have a certain energy. You have the energy of a cat. You observe. You know, like with cats, it's like you have to listen to their boundaries. You can't just pick them up and cuddle them and, you know, they'll be like, oh, who's a good boy, who's a good girl. You can't necessarily do that with cats, first off. If you want to get a cat's, you know, attention, or you want a cat to kind of like understand you, you don't rush into their face and stroke them and really be really boisterous. You have to really listen. You have to really be attentive with them. You have to really move slow. And I feel like you're like that. And you're being called to not try and fit a mold of what other people want you to be. I feel like that's just how your soul moves, literally. I just feel like your natural state feels very much more divine feminine. I see you guys being very observant, and I see you guys moving in a very beautiful way. And I see you guys having like a really beautiful, colourful personality, but it's like, I'll show you that when you're in my bubble. Because it's like when people say about cats, oh, cats are boring, cats don't do, you know, cats aren't fun, cats aren't funny, cats aren't interesting. They are, but when you're in their face trying to make them do it, they're not going to do it. But when you just allow a cat to be a cat, they're actually very affectionate, very cuddly, very funny, very playful. I mean, my cat Veda, who is sitting on the couch right in front of me, he acts like a dog. You know, when I come through the front door, he's like around my legs, and he lies on his back, and he purrs, and he makes his little meow. It's like walking home to a dog. But he wasn't like that straight away. You know what I mean? He had to feel comfortable to be like that. And I feel like you guys have that energy. And I feel like you may have heard sometimes people like, oh, why are you being boring? Why are you being shy? Why are you being quiet? You're in your bubble. And when you feel safe around somebody, then you're going to let that out. And that doesn't mean that you're restricting yourself. That keeps you safe. And if people, you know, are trying to pop the bubble, or people can't get into the bubble, maybe they're not your people. You know what I mean? Or if people can't respect that you're going to take time to pop out of that bubble, or you're going to take time to immerse somebody into your bubble to kind of see those parts of you. If people don't understand that, and people don't get that, that's on them. That's not on you. You don't need to change yourself for other people. And if people can't see you, maybe they're not supposed to see you. Maybe people aren't seeing those depths because they might not see them depths within themselves. So remember that is the message, because I feel like you may have had friendships or connections where people have almost like, you felt inadequate because you didn't have X, Y, and Z, but it's like, you weren't being like that straight away, because why would you? And if people don't understand that, then that's on them. Because true connections, they need to be nurtured. They need to be understood. You need to get to know people. And I feel like there's a lot of beautiful, lovely layers to you. But you preserve that for who is meant to have that. Not for people that just want to pop the bubble and, you know, not take care of it. Not for people that are just seeing a cat and it's like, I want this cat to give me love and affection and that's it. When you have cats, you have to understand them. You have to give them space. You have to give them that level of freedom. You have to respect them. Cats are very big on that. And I feel like your energy's like that. It's like, if you're not honoring me, you're not respecting me, you're not making me feel safe, why are you going to get those parts of me? And why should I feel ashamed for not showing you those parts of me? I'm not inadequate. I just don't feel comfortable in showing you myself. And that's okay, you know? So there's a feeling of that coming through. For you to honor the sacredness of who you are and how you move, and not feel ashamed for not being what maybe society tells you to be, or what people around you wanted you to be, you know? Pile number 3, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number 3, Spirit Guides. We have the Page of Cups reversed. Pile number 3, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number 3's Spirit Guides. We have the High Priestess. I'm hearing Ascension by Janae Aiko, and she says, I'm not a cover girl from another underworld, analog, not digital, invisible, a spiritual one. So you guys may be very connected to spirit, and maybe you read energies, and that's why you move the way that you do, you know? I'm not going to cement myself here until I energetically feel like it's in alignment with me, or you show me that you deserve my energy, or you show me that I can be comfortable around you and you're not just going to take from me. You have the Strength card as well. Pile number 3, messages from pile number 3's. Messages from pile number 3, Spirit Guides. 4 of Wands. In the back of the deck you have the 8 of Swords. There's something that you're looking at and you're going, this has held me back. This has been a barrier for me. I need to purge this out. Where in actuality, the only thing that needs to be purged is the way you're looking at it, because what it's actually done is keep you safe and keep you, keep your energy preserved. Because I see you being around someone that maybe you like, and then it's like you can't bring out parts of yourself and you don't know why. You want to be confident around this person, you want to click with this person, but you can't, and you don't understand why. And I see you guys looking at it and going, maybe I'm nervous, maybe I'm this, maybe I'm that, and I see you guys putting yourself down. But what's actually happening is your soul's like, no, 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 this person doesn't really want to get to know me, this person doesn't really want to be with me, this person just wants me to be their crutch, this person wants me to be their therapist, this person wants me to be their savior, this person wants me to be their void filler, and I'm more than that. So I'm not coming out of my energy until this person shows me that they want to get to know me, or this person shows me that they want to make me feel safe. I'm not going to come out of my energy until this person shows me that, because energetically right now I don't think that they have the best intentions, or I don't think that they're the right fit for me. And then your mind's almost going, why am I being shy, why am I being awkward? I don't think you were being awkward at all. And I think you're being called to listen to when you feel like you're being awkward, or listen to when you feel like you're being a bit in your shell, because it's almost like your soul's like, let's stay here a sec, we don't feel fully comfortable here yet, let's wait until we feel like we can bring aspects of ourselves out. If people want to project on us, that's fine, because people project on cats all the time, and they're actually really wonderful creatures and they protect us all the time. But people don't think that, but they don't care about being misunderstood, because it's like, I'm a cat, I'm here to do my job, and I'm here to be a cat, that's it. They don't care. So it's almost like you're being called to look at it from that perspective of a cat, in a way of like, yeah, I'm misunderstood all the time. I'm told I'm a bit aloof. I'm told I'm a bit short. And I'm told I'm a bit, you know, I can be aggressive when I'm provoked, but let's ask the real question here, why are you provoking me? So it's kind of like that. You're being called to almost study and understand how cats move, and almost use that to mirror how you move, because I feel like you move that way. It's quite interesting. I feel like you get a lot of downloads about people, and you read people to the point that your brain hasn't caught up yet, and then you're going, why am I socially awkward? I don't think you were meant to bring out that aspect of your personality here. I think somebody could have nabbed at that, or somebody could have tried to grab that, or somebody could have been coming through with ill intentions, and your energy's kind of protecting you in a way. So there's a part of you that you're wanting to purge, feeling like it's holding you back, but in actuality it's actually a power, and all you really need to do is understand how it works and use it to your advantage. Because once you know how it works, you're not going to be feeling held back by it. It's almost like gaining control of it. It's really interesting. But I feel like you have a misconception of yourself that maybe people have projected onto you. And I think maybe you felt people projected onto you. Oh, that person's a bit, you know, awkward, or that person's a bit shy. No. they can perceive it if they want, you know, maybe they're very outgoing and that's fine, but there's a sacredness energetically that you honor that's stopping you from, I feel like you're very empathic and clairsentient, and I feel like I can't just be like that. It's not connected to my makeup. Like I can't just jump out and be open with everybody, because that would be detrimental to my energy. It doesn't align with my energy, and it's not for me. So I don't know why I'm going to strive to be like that, because it's going to make me feel a bit discombobulated. I need to move slower. And that's why you're being called to slow your energy down and really move kind of like a cat, you know? Because like if you ever watched a cat, I'm talking about cats so much, but that's what Spirit's using as an analogy. If you watch a cat before they jump on their prey, they cower, their eyes go up, they observe it, their paws go down and their ears go back, and they're observing it, and you can see their body moving, ready to pounce. They're preparing themselves. And I feel like that's how you move. You have these thoughts, you align with something energetically, and you start to prepare yourself, and your body moves. And I don't see you guys literally, you know, sitting there with, you know, your butt in the air and like, you know, your ears going back ready to go, you know, to the gym that day. I don't see you moving like that. But it's almost like you analyze what's going to happen, and then it's like you flow into it. You create a safe space to jump into. You create a safety net to jump into. That's your energy. I don't think that's meant to be purged out, but you may have a misconception that you're supposed to. And I've now realized the strength card comes out. It's a lion on it, feline. There's strength in the way that you move, but I feel like you've looked at it as making you inadequate or holding you back, and it hasn't. But I think you have been learning to master it and understand it to have it work for you, which happens with every gift. We always have to master it when we incarnate with it. We have to get this physical incarnation of us to align with it and master it. So we have to get to grips with it. Pile number 3. I'm hearing somebody say, I'm not here to put on a show for you. So if you're wanting to come around me for that, I'm not going to do that. I'm not here to put on a show for you. Maybe you guys have strong connection to your psychic gifts and people want you to put on a bit of a show for them. I get that sometimes, where people think it's like I'm a magician, you know? I remember seeing somebody once and they said to me, they had a toothache. And they were like, oh, do some healing work on my tooth. Like, it was really flippant, you know, first date. And it's like, I'll do some healing work on my tooth while we're here. Just telling me to do it as if it's just this thing I can just, oh yeah, I'm just going to do this for you. Not realizing the sacredness of what comes into like healing energies and working through. It was just so flippant and so, you know, and I was like, excuse me? No, you know, no, I will not. I'm not your magician to just bibbity bop you, you know, that's not what I'm here for. And I feel like you may deal with that too, in regards to spiritual gifts, because people do that a lot with people with spiritual gifts. They want you to prove yourself. Oh, tell me this about myself, tell me this then. And it's like, no, I don't care what you project on me. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not here for your pleasure. I'm not here for your you know, free healing. I'm not here to put on a show for you, you know. We have the sea urchin, maneuver with tenacity, be methodical. Yeah, be methodical. Maneuver with tenacity. It's like moving, observing, and then aligning. Moving, observing, and then aligning. Pile number... High tide. Energy is rising, emotions are escalating. Sandbar, discovery of new pathways and opportunities. I'll get one more card because I did 4 for the other piles. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Messages from pile number... Oh, you have 5. You have the flamingo. You don't have to do it alone. Nurture your close relationships. And then you have sunrise. God, that's a lot of cards. A time of spiritual awakening or rebirth. That's a lot of cards, actually. Back of the deck, you have moonlight. Pause for, yeah, pause for a moment. Someone or something is not unveiling their entirety. You're like the moon. You're like strong divine feminine energy. It doesn't matter the gender. You guys have strong divine feminine energy. You are like the moon. Something or someone is not unveiling their entirety. Your soul and energy know that before you even jump into anything. So listen, if you go on dates or you make friends or you're in a workspace or you're doing something and you feel a little bit uncomfortable or you feel like you don't want to come out of your shell, I feel like there's a reason. Your soul knows something's not revealing themselves. And I feel like you have a very beautiful way of bringing that out of you, out of people, of seeing it in people. You don't have the best intentions with me. You're not honoring me. You're not actually trying to get to know me at all. I don't think I trust you. Like, it's a feeling like that coming through. Because in high tide, energy is rising, emotions are escalating. You move with emotion. You move with a feeling. You move with your intuition. And there has to be sand on the ground for the tide to kind of flow into. So it's like you wait for something to physically manifest before you align with it. You wait for a feeling of safety before you align with it. Otherwise, why would you do that? It's like when cats are looking for a place to sleep. They're going to analyze their surroundings, go where it's warm. They're going to really feel into it. And then they're going to go to sleep there. They eye up their surroundings. The sandbar, discovery of new pathways and opportunities. I feel like the minute that you acknowledge this part of yourself as a blessing, I feel like it's going to really work well for you, and I feel like you're going to hone parts of your energy and activate even more parts of your energy that you haven't met before, I feel, because you're giving space to it instead of pushing it back down. I feel like your intuition is going to expand. I feel like your clairvoyancy, I'm hearing, is going to expand. Your ability to read and feel energies is going to expand because you won't be pushing back at it and going, no, why am I feeling this way? Listen to why you're being this way. Your body's telling you, your energy's telling you, your feelings are telling you why you're being this way. Listen, because that's how you move through life. You may have air or water ascendants, or it may just rule your chart. The flamingo, you don't have to do it alone. Nurture your close relationships. The people that are in your life truly value you. And do you want to know what's really interesting? I was being shown a bubble when I was tapping into your energy. Look at the sea urchin moving in the little purple bubble. Look at the flamingos together in this bubble. The flamingos just brought the other flamingo into its bubble. And it's pink for the heart chakra. And this is what I mean. We've got purple here for the crown chakra. You're observing and channeling at the same time while you're moving. So you're understanding something through your higher chakras while you're moving in your bubble. And then this pink energy here, it's like when you bring people in, they get to see your heart space. They get to see who you truly are. When you really feel like they align with you, then they're able to come into your bubble without popping it. Because they respect it. And I feel like the people that are closest to you love you, value you and what you bring. And I feel like you have a close-knit circle and it's meant to be that way. And then we have sunrise, a time for spiritual awakening or rebirth. I feel like you're waking up to a part of yourself that's very connected to your own divine feminine energy, that's going to bring in a lot of abundance for you and understanding who you are. Because I keep being shown, I'm shy, I'm awkward. I don't think you are. I don't think that's what it is. I think that's a projection human beings have created. Because they don't understand that some people move that way. The same way that people put those projections on cats. You know? And people say about cats, I don't know their motives. They move around all sneaky. I don't know their motives. Why do you need to know their motives? Do you know what I mean? Is that how you look at life? Are you trying to attack people on the low? Like, why do you need to know people's motives like that? Because I feel like then people may feel that they're projecting that because it's like, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're feeling. I don't know how they feel about me. I don't know their motives. Why do you need to know that? What do you need to know that for? That bad? And why is it making you uncomfortable? It sounds like a you problem. That's what I'm picking up. That's what's coming through. Because it's not that you don't know how to hold a conversation. It's not that you don't know how to shine. It's not that you don't know how to pop out your bubble. You do that when you feel the need to. There's nothing wrong with you there. You know what I mean? And I feel like you may think that sometimes. I can do it sometimes and then I can't other times. Look at the energy around you and when you do it and when you don't. Look at the people you're around when you do it and when you don't. And the spirit's saying, that's all you need to say. So the final deck I'm going to use, this was actually sent to me by one of my beautiful subscribers and I'm obsessed. Look at the back. Just look at the back in general. Beautiful. And it's animal cards, it's animal spirit cards. So I love this deck so much, so I've linked it in the description box for you guys, so you can head over because it's their Etsy account, and you'll be able to see the deck and, you know, have a look at the images and really see if you like it, because I really love this. And it comes with a really detailed booklet. So I'll have the link if you really do like this deck, okay? So yeah, let's pull the final card. Pile number 3. Messages from pile number 3, spirit guides, please. Messages from pile number 3, spirit guides. The final bit of guidance from pile number 3's spirit guides. Oh, you have 2. You have the lamb. And you have the spider. Okay, back of the deck you have the elephant. You are so full of wisdom. And like I always say about elephants, they're the most majestic creatures. They could cut everybody up, but they don't. They choose to be peaceful, full of wisdom, you know? And when I look at this baby lamb, you know, it's innocence. And it's taken me, again, with the pink energy here, it's the heart chakra energy. It's taken me to that softness. It's taken me to that innocence. And I think that's what you're protecting, your inner child, your softness. I think you guys naturally are very open. And I think that you guys are naturally very empathic, clairsentient, sensitive. But when you look at nature, when nature creates something sensitive, it gives it a shell. When nature creates something sensitive, it gives it a shell to protect it. It's like I always say about the sea urchins and the cockles in the shells and the snails in the shells. They're sensitive, you know? But nature gives it a shell to preserve itself, to keep itself safe, to go within and protect itself. And that's what I'm getting from this card. You naturally see the light in people. You naturally see people. You understand people. Even when people are doing things in the wrong, you see where it's come from. You see the trigger. And you want to help and you want to heal. But that's where that shell comes in, to protect you from people taking advantage of that and from people having ill intent. And with the spider card here, you know, even with spiders, they'll stay in their hole until they feel like it's time to pop out. And what spiders have is patience. They'll sit and wait for this fly to pop up for them to jump out and grab it. And even when you watch a spider create its home and create its web, it's slow, it's patient, it's calm, it's patient, it's not rushing. And it makes this beautiful web. And you're somebody that needs time to open up. You're somebody that needs time for you to show those parts of your layers. And if people haven't got the patience, people haven't got the depth, people haven't got the understanding of that, that's keeping you safe because they're not for you. That's what's keeping you safe, you know? And that's the message from Spirit. And you're being called to really listen to that divine feminine energy within you. Because it's not a curse, it's a blessing. And that shell was there to keep you safe. Your intuition's there to keep you safe. So pile number 3, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.